This video is sponsored by Squarespace.
Hello everybody, glad you could make it. My name is Kaylee Ellen and welcome to Rare Plant Index Anthurium Edition. If you have no idea what a Rare Plant Index is, it's a series here on YouTube where I take a given plant and I categorize different varieties of it according to the following categories. So we have common, uncommon, rare, very rare, extremely rare, and if applicable, a holy. So like a holy grail plant that everyone wants that you just can't get. Kind of like a unicorn plant. There are a few points I want to go over before we start today's video, and I might repeat them here or there where it becomes applicable. So the first thing I want to talk about is the fact that some hybrids are included in this video. I don't typically do that with plants. Say if I'm doing a philodendron one, I tend not to do hybrids, but given that we need to adapt rare plant indexes for the current times, I've included some here and there. Not everywhere, but some notable hybrids, absolutely. The second thing is something I wanted to explain that I should have explained on a previous video. So a lot of people use these videos as mini shopping lists, if you will. The thing I need you to know is if you ever want a seedling of one of these plants, they may not look like these exact plants, okay? If you want to get a plant that looks exactly like the photograph that I'm showing you of a given plant, you need to get what's called a clone, which is usually essentially a cutting. Otherwise, you get things like seeds and seedlings, okay? So the seeds and seedlings are variable. The cuttings are what we know to be clones of the plant. I should have made that clear on a recent video I did about red crystallinum, and I didn't, so I'm clearing it up now. I'll repeat it where it's necessary. Anyway, let's get into it. Anthurium time. Grab a snack, grab a pen and paper, and let's go. I don't mean to alarm anybody, but there are like 60 plants on this list, so yeah, no. The first category we have, guys, is of course the common category, and this is wild because nearly everything in this category used to be in like rare or very rare or something like that a few years ago. I've not put every Anthurium in there, obviously, but I've gone with a lot of the main archetypes of Anthurium. So the first plant in common, we have the Anthurium Veitchii. I've chosen to show you the dark form. Now, it would be sat kind of near me. However, I moved it up so I could get this guy right here next to me instead. We'll touch on him later because he's in here, but I love the dark form of Veitchii. It's really pretty. Obviously the regular form has like silver veining, but I don't know what it is. I like really muted plants. I don't tend to like the more statement plants, so this is definitely one for me. I have way too many of these. Not that they're super rare, but the dark form is a little bit more rare, obviously, than the regular form. So it's a gorgeous plant, and it's famous for having basically a complete lack of sinus, so a closed sinus, so it's completely round on the top. There aren't many Anthurium that will be looking like that, so if you love it, then Veitchii is the one for you. Next up, in common, we have the wonderful Clarinervium. I don't have a Clarinervium. There is actually, you cannot see it, I'm sat directly in front of it, but there is a hybrid of Clarinervium behind me, and I love it, and it's great. So I sort of have a piece of Clarinervium in the house, and I have other things that take from Clarinervium in the house. I have always said this, and I will keep saying this, if you are looking for basically a beginner Anthurium to start out with, I really recommend this one, guys. I don't actually think it gets much cheaper than this. I think this is like your bottom run, cheapest Anthurium you can probably get, but I actually also think it's one of the better looking ones for the money as well. So if you want to dip your toe into Anthurium and you're like, oh, I don't want to get anything fancy, I don't want to kill it. Honestly, Clarinervium is pretty accessible. You can find it in most shops now. I would be shocked if you told me that you couldn't get it. It doesn't have to be the Anthurium you go for. To be honest, given the price of a lot of these, you could pick nearly any Anthurium in common. But in terms of ease and stuff like that, I would probably pick it, to be honest. It's a really solid choice. The next plant we have in common used to not be common at all, guys. I don't know where this would have been. At least rare. I don't know if it was very rare, but it was at least in rare. This is Anthurium Villenaorum. Hopefully that's how you pronounce it. I don't remember when I had these in the shop, because I did have them like way before they hit like mainstream market. I maybe got about 5 in, and I don't remember them being that actually easy to grow, which is interesting because if they've hit mass market, it probably means they are really easy to grow. Do you know what I mean? Otherwise they wouldn't have really hit the point where they've hit now, and you wouldn't be able to get big bushy ones. So maybe that's just on me. Maybe that's my care. I don't really know. Let me know if you've ever desired one of these. Personally, I would not, because the plant coming up next is something that I do have and would rather have, just because it's a bit less I don't want to say messy, but I sort of think that might be the right word. So the next plant is literally, this used to be in, I think it was in extremely rare actually. Like way back when I did the original Anthurium Rare Plant Index, which was honestly, guys, sorry, I've got cat hair on my face. It was probably in like 2019. So we're talking 6 years ago, right? And now we have it in common. Anthurium Warocqueanum or Warocqueanum. There are different ways of pronouncing it based on Latin, unless you're around when we all learned how to pronounce Latin way back when, which none of us were alive then. It's really not a big deal. So just, if you struggle with plant names, guys, just have a go, literally. So wonderful, wonderful plant. And I have, you can sort of see it beside my head. I have this one. I have another one upstairs that's the same. And then on the other side of my kitchen that you cannot see, I have Queen Anthurium, as is known. I have one rehabbing, but the lobes are wider and it's really cool. It's like a wide sinus Anthurium. And I really need to start propagating him because I'm sure some of you guys would love to own him as well. So that is on my list to do. But they're fantastic plants. Now, no, they're not the easiest. Okay, they're not the easiest. They're not difficult as such for an Anthurium. They're kind of okay. They're just not the easiest things in the world. But if you've ever wanted to get one, I honestly think they're not going to get that much cheaper. You can get a really small one out of tissue culture for quite cheap, okay? And I actually urge you to go for a smaller plant if you want to try out a plant. Now, you might think, no, I need to get something bigger and more established because it'll be tougher. Honestly, guys, I've done this job for a long time. The toughest plants, honestly, are usually very small plants, seedlings, etc. I don't know what it is. I have loads of you in the comment section that agree with me. Get something small, and that goes for any plant, obviously. Not even in Anthurium, just anything at all. Get something smaller if you think you want to have a go. Don't let Warocqueanum put you off. Just give it a go now, it's cheap. Just give it a go. You never know. You never know. The next plant we have in common is the King Anthurium, also known as Anthurium Veitchii. You may or may not be able to see him in this frame. Obviously, I've cropped you in, but he's somewhere around my head, and he's actually putting out a new leaf right now. And I really wish, guys, that I could have made a really cool Anthurium background and put loads of them around me. But the way that the shelves are, the heights that the Anthurium are, it didn't work, okay? I did try. Oddly enough, I don't feel like Veitchii is an Anthurium that people pick. And I don't really know why, because it's very, very unique. There's probably only 1 or 2 Anthurium that sort of look even close to it. So I wouldn't have said it was an acquired taste. Heck, maybe it is. Personally, I find it quite easy. And I do say this a lot, but any Anthurium that is not velvety and it's like glossy, I actually find that quite easy in general over any other Anthurium. So I don't know why people don't pick this. Maybe because it takes a long time to size up, because it kind of does. It kind of does. You're in it for the long haul if you want like really big, long, sexy leaves. But honestly, it's a great plant. It's an absolutely great plant. And again, it's cheap. Try it out. Try it out. You might like it. And you might find, if you've tried with all the velvet types of Anthurium and you just don't gel, you might genuinely find, guys, that if you try a glossy Anthurium, you might vibe with it and it might work for you. So don't be put off, especially when these things are cheap. What have you got to lose? What have you got to lose? Okay, the next plant for common, I've never liked it. I just want to be completely honest with you. I've never really liked it. I've got good reasons and we will get to them. But the next plant is Anthurium Radicans or Radicans, however you want to pronounce it. Look, it's all right. It's just that there is better. And Anthurium fans know exactly what I'm getting at. They do. It's nice enough. It's got not super thick leaves, but thickish leaves. It's got lovely corrugation. From what I remember, this plant is very, very compact, very bushy, which is obviously very nice. I just wouldn't pick it. I'm not going to recommend that you do pick it, even though it's probably easier than its sexier alternative. I don't think you should pick it. I don't think you should pick it. I think you should pick the other one, which we will get to though. But yeah, let me know if you even have or have had one of these. I feel like everyone would have just picked the other plant, right?
Are you looking to create a brand new website, perhaps for a personal blog or to showcase and sell your own products? Get started today with Squarespace. Squarespace is a one-stop shop to create your very own sleek and professional website built from a variety of modern and fully customizable templates. No technical or programming knowledge required. I've used Squarespace for years now, guys, and I honestly won't go anywhere else. Along with all of these gorgeous website design templates, Squarespace can offer you even more assistance with Blueprint AI, your very own AI-enhanced website builder. You can literally choose the vibe of your website along with the conversational style that you want the AI to use when you ask it to help you write out little bits and pieces for content blocks. Pretty cool, huh? The best part is, guys, you can try Squarespace for yourself for absolutely free. Check out squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/KayleeEllen to save 10% off your first website or domain purchase. Thank you so much to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video.
So if you're looking for some more velvety types with a little bit of veining, I have for you the Anthurium Magnificum. And listen, I'm going to say something very similar to what I just said about the Radicans, right? In my personal opinion, you can do better. Now, Magnificum is a very, very easy plant. It's easy enough to grow. It's just, I find it really boring. Okay, I really find it boring. And that's probably because if I whiz on very quickly to what I think you should get instead, we have the Anthurium Crystallinum. Now I'm going to put Crystallinum on the left of your screen, obviously, and then I'm just going to pop back up Magnificum on the right. Now, using the pictures that I'm using, they don't look too dissimilar, all right? But I guess you're just going to have to trust me when I say that in real life, Magnificum is nowhere near as good looking as that photograph. I'm just going to be honest, guys, it's not. Whereas the Crystallinum, I would say that's quite indicative of what a Crystallinum would look like, to be honest. I just think that's a really decent looking Magnificum. They're just so similar. It's possible that the Magnificum's growth habit is a little bit nicer than the Crystallinum's. Don't get me wrong. Magnificum's growth habit is a little bit more upright. Crystallinum can get a bit more, I don't want to say gangly, but it's a bit more outward. Do you know what I mean? Because they usually like grow out from walls and, you know, rocky crags or whatever and things like that. So they do tend to sort of stick out at you a little bit more. But I still think it's more worth it. I'm sorry, I just do. Great plant, honestly. I do have one. You cannot see it. It's putting out a new leaf right now. I cannot wait. Right, guys, that was actually all we have for common. And I think that's really good. Because I know I did alocasia and so many of them were in common. It was crazy. But Anthurium, I've tried to do this a little bit differently, right? Because no one wants to say all of the common Anthurium all the time. So, we're now in uncommon. Here we go. Right. Straight away, we are in with the Anthurium Luxurians, and straight away, I'm going to put the Radicans on the right-hand side of your screen so you can see what I mean. Why on earth would you get the Radicans when you could get the Luxurians? Now, I'm actually showing you one that I did not have the option of having when I had my shop a long, long ago, when these things were, to be honest, very, very pricey. They were hundreds of pounds for Luxurians. But that you're looking at is actually a platinum one. So it's very like silvery blue toned, and it's quite sexy, I will not lie. So obviously I would probably recommend that over the green form, but if you just want a green form, there is that for you as well. I just think it presents a lot nicer than the Radicans. The shape of the leaf is so much better, and also this plant is a lot more upright as well. It's very, very upright. It behaves a little bit more like the Anthurium Magnificum, so I personally think what's not to love. You can get some fantastic hybrids with this plant as well, you know, like this by, I don't know, I can't think of an example right now, but you can get some lovely, lovely hybrids. So if you like this plant, it might be worth Googling, checking on Instagram, whatever, to see if there's anything that you might like with it in, because no doubt plenty of people are making things now. But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there just because personally, I know it's my personal opinion, guys. This one's just better, okay? Nothing wrong with having a preference. Next up in uncommon, we have a plant that I don't think I've ever owned. I just want to say that. I don't think I have, so I can't comment on anything to do with its care. I will simply comment on how it looks. This is the Anthurium Silver Blush. Right, listen. This is going to be like, I wouldn't say it's a running theme, because I actually don't think there are many Anthurium on this list today that are like this, but I don't tend to like messy, not variegation, but like messy veining. So I would class this as messy, right? And I'll try my best to explain. And again, this is personal preference, guys. So don't feel insulted if I insult your favorite plant, okay? I'm just trying to tell you where I'm coming from. I don't like how imprecise this plant presents the silver veining. I'm not against silver veining. There are many plants that have it in that I really like, okay? But this is just not it, okay? We've colored outside the lines. Maybe we were drunk. I don't know. It's not for me. The shape and the compactness is really quite nice, to be honest. I can't really complain about that. But I'm not buzzing off the way it presents. I do think a lot of people like this one, though. I do see it a lot popping up on Facebook and stuff like that. Yes, all right, people are selling it, but I don't think that means that people don't like it necessarily. I just think everyone's had it at some point, and I obviously I don't think that's a bad thing at all. So that's that one. Again, no experience. Can't really comment on it, to be honest. Oh, Lord. Okay, the next plant, oh my goodness, I've featured this a few times on my channel over the years and not in a good way, okay? So the next plant I want to talk about today is Anthurium Splendidum. And listen, this was on a video. It was something like... Was it like worst houseplants of all time or most difficult? Or it was on something like that, right? I remember when these things cost about £100, right? Cost price. So that's before you have a shop and you put any markup on it, right? Usually when you have a shop, some people do like double, like 200% markup. A lot of people tend to do 300%. That's quite standard in my personal opinion. But these were super, super pricey to bring in, okay? They were. And they just melted. You look at it wrong, it melts. I don't think they look very good. I think it's testament to me, really, that the picture I found, there's one leaf on it. It probably needs to be in a terrarium because I remember the humidity needed to just be insane. I think it's all right to look at, but I know too much. Do you know what I mean? I know too much. I would never, ever look that way at that plant ever again. I don't want to see it. And I'm angry it's on this list, to be honest. But it interests me that it's now super affordable. I'm not sure why anyone would pick it to mass produce. I'm just going to be totally honest. But hey, there's something for everybody. Yeah, it's corrugated, but again, the Luxurians, it's so much nicer. But, you do you. If you actually own one of these, let me know. Let me know if it is actually as bad as I'm making out. Because, we grow, we change. Our care styles differ. Some people just have a knack for certain plants. Some people don't, whatever. Just let me know. But I'm not displeased that I do not have it anymore. Put it that way. And listen, guys, there has to be something on every list that I don't like. All right. I got it in the neck, I think, for my Alocasia Rare Plant Index that I did, which I will link down below if you're interested, because it's a certain plant that I just kept just ragging on. This is probably it. This and Radicans. Why would you bother? Honestly, why would you bother? So we're going to go back to we're not just going to go back to velvety types, but we're going to go back to some plants with some veining definition, but not too much, just keep it demure, keep it casual. So I'd like to talk about, for a moment, the Anthurium Metallicum. I don't know if I've ever had any of these in the shop. I actually want to say no, and if I have had them in, I had them in once, and I had one go of them. Now, I don't believe they're incredibly popular. I just don't. It's not something I see people talk about, rave about, even sell. I don't think many people care. I think it's got a very small fan base, this plant. That's not a bad thing. So I can't really tell you anything about care. Not that it really matters. But for me, when you look at the Metallicum, it's just kind of like a waroc, like a Queen Anthurium, but it's just a bit quieter. And for some people, yeah, that's great. For me, I prefer the drama of the Queen Anthurium. That's just a little bit more me, I would say. So yeah, pass really. If this was smash or pass, it would be a pass. A very chilled out pass, a very polite pass, but it would be a pass. So next on the list, this is kind of insane. We have Anthurium Delta Force, guys. In another universe, if I'd done another Rare Plant Index earlier, this would have been in Holy. And I don't know, because I think this is technically Anthurium Rare Plant Index 3 now. I don't know if the last one I did, I put Delta in as the Holy Grail, but I probably should have at the time. But that goes to show you how far this plant has gone down since, say, God, even like 2023 or something, it's gone down. Obviously, it was tissue cultured. We all know this. And it's continued to be tissue cultured. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I do think it's a great plant. I don't know how the people that, the people at feel about that. Gardens, that is, if you don't know what I'm talking about. The origination of this plant is Marie Knock of Gardens, I think. I don't know what they would feel about that, but it's a great plant, and you know what? It's really nice. And I do think if anybody's been waiting for it, I don't think it's going to get too much cheaper. Maybe it will. So say if it's like 40 Great British pounds or 40 euros now, it might go down to 20 euros. So you could wait if you wanted to, don't get me wrong, but if you've ever wondered what this plant is like, it is gorgeous. In my opinion, the tissue culture clones are, completely true to type. So I wouldn't worry about that at all. But yeah, it's amazing how far that's come. Like, I'm actually a bit shocked. I thought they would hold value a little bit longer than that, but it really depends on who's tissue culturing them and how many different places are. Because if, 5 people tissue culture them, those 5 people are in a race to get the cash. So the prices will just drop. I do think they've probably stabilized now for a while though. But great plant. Still recommend it, no matter how much it is. I don't like plants for how much they cost. I like them for what they look like or how cool they are. So we're now going to go into the strap leaf belt-like Anthurium because they're kind of all in the same category, guys. They really are. So we're going to start with the Anthurium vitarifolium. So just to give you some heads up, I guess, if you're new to Anthurium or you don't know about this plant at least, the next 3 or 4 plants are going to look a bit similar. So this one is the Anthurium vitarifolium. The leaves are very tough, hard, leathery, probably the toughest out of all of the belt types, I would say. Definitely one on the tougher end anyway. Really nice plant. I can't knock it. The only reason I don't have it anymore is I think I started looking after the next plant and I just didn't, I've got one belt-like type. I didn't really need loads of them. So I've kept the next plant instead, which is the Anthurium pallidiflorum. Now, this is similar, and I know you're probably going to look at the picture and go, I can't tell the difference. I guess I can only try and communicate to you the difference. And that is that the leaves are a little bit more velvety, I guess. If I actually grab my phone 1 second, just because I have it here, and I can't pick up every Anthurium today, guys, I do apologize. But this here is, hang on, Anthurium pallidiflorum. I will put it in front of me because I'm probably still showing you a picture on the left. It's very velvety. It's also got an inflow on there. Woo! It's very, very velvety and very, very belt-like. It's beautiful, and it does give a similar vibe to the vitarifolium, but personally I think it hangs a little bit neater. It's hard to explain, but the vitarifolium can get a bit all over the place. This one is very much like, it's had the hair straighteners on it. It's had a bit of styling product. It's got some hairspray. Like it's got its shit together. Do you know what I'm saying? Oh my God, am I getting a leaf as well? Ooh. Oh no, I've got a flower here. You won't be able to see this. I've got a flower here. I've got a leaf coming through here. And I can see, where's it gone? I just saw it. Coming out of this leaf here. I think I'm going to have another flower, which I would say great, but I don't have anything else to cross this with, so it's kind of pointless. Although I could cross it with itself, I suppose. Right, let's put this back. So yes, that's pallidiflorum. It's not the only one I've got. I have another one over there that is bigger, and then I have another baby one upstairs that I think I'm going to sell, actually. So I might sell him this week, or I may have already sold him by the time you say this, but he's very, very cute, actually. He's small, but he's adorable. But yeah, love that. I actually do prefer it to the vitarifolium. I'm just going to be honest, I really do. Moving on from that, we have a plant that is very similar, and it is very similar, but people tend to buy this for the blooms, for the inflows, right? And that is Anthurium Wendlingeri. I think that's how you say it. Also known as Wendy. I'm just going to call it Wendy because I feel like that's the easier thing to do. But yeah, let me try and look at the pictures and tell you what the difference is. It still looks velvety, but I couldn't totally confirm it. Yeah, it's hard to tell. It looks a little bit more, I don't know, I don't want to say like all over the place compared to the pallidiflorum, but maybe a little bit. But if you're buying this one and you have any other belt-like type, then you probably do want it for the blooms. Maybe you're just collecting, I don't know. So those are literally 3 to pick from that look very similar. I do have a couple more, but those are, I don't think personally, unless you are literally a collector and you love your belt-like types, I don't think you need all 3. And I would go for maybe one of the second 2. And I'm surprised I'm saying that because I've always loved vitarifolium, but Okay, this could have gone in another video in the last month, and I got told off for not including it, so we're putting it in here. This is Anthurium SP Marona or Sp Marona. I couldn't get good pictures of it. And it's not because it's super rare, it's that I just think, I'll be honest, nobody really cares. I hate to put it to the people that were upset that I didn't put it, I think it was in my Long Boys video or something. Just nobody really cares, I'm so sorry. It's not as good as the other ones. It's not as good as the other ones. But it's here, and it's here for y'all. Feel free to hype it up, love it. We love that for you. I haven't looked to see how super available it is, because again, I just don't think you need it, but it's here in the list. If you want something that is just honestly huge, like belt-like but huge, there is only one choice, and that is the Anthurium Big Bill. Now, the picture doesn't do this justice, and really I should have used one with like a person in it for scale, but this gets absolutely massive. This is probably not a household situation. This is, I live in Florida, I'm growing this outside, it is reinforced with steel, and it takes up like half the garden kind of vibe, right? Hanging off a tree branch, I don't know, because this can get really, really big. I don't really see why anybody would want it other than e.g. that reason, or perhaps you've got like a huge, I don't know, like a house that's really like lofty, and you want to put something almost in the way of putting a chandelier there, but not, and you just want something massive, then a big bill would be great for that. Like maybe you've got like stag horns on the walls, and you're just going to put a big bill in the middle of the room. I can see that working, but generally, I don't think it's one for the mainstream. Yes, it's an uncommon, but it's not desirable. You know what I mean? Because that's very different. It's very different. We're talking about commercial rarity, remember? So this is available. I think it's come out of tissue culture actually, or at least seedlings or something. I don't know. I saw very small plants anyway. Right, the next plant in uncommon. I never see people own this anymore. I don't see people have crosses of it. I don't see people with it. I barely see people selling it. Maybe we all just had enough of it. This is Anthurium Regale. Guys, I need to know. Please leave a comment as to whether you still have one, or you like them, or anything. Because as far as I'm concerned, they pretty much don't exist anymore. And because nobody cares. And I think nobody cares because, yeah, it looks nice. Nothing really looks similar, but you can get loads of other stuff now. And this Anthurium is not very easy. It's just not. Now, that's not to say it's not, it doesn't work for somebody. Of course it does. But I think for most of us, we've all had probably, maybe if we're into our Anthurium, in the last 6 years perhaps, we've probably had a Regale. And we've probably got rid of it because the bacterial rust was really bad. You get like brown all around the edges, it was just a nightmare. I'm not a fan. And I used to be a fan. I remember seeing this in the first like rare plant index I ever did. I think it would be in there for the first Anthurium, and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. But I just think we all found out the hard way that it's maybe better on a photograph than it is to actually look after. Now that might be a hot take. I just don't think it actually is, because I never see them. I don't see them on Instagram. Guys, I don't see them. I literally don't see them. So let me know if you still have one, if you like them or anything, because I don't know. Guys, we're moving up a category. We're in rare. I know. Okay, so we're going to start off rare with more of a silver number. And this does sort of fall into what I said earlier on about I don't like messy things. This plant it gets away with it a little bit because it's longer. But still, it's not my favourite. Great grower though. This is Anthurium Selbys Silver. Now I think this is technically, it's like a dwarf mutated Anthurium Crystallinum, right? I have a couple of plants upstairs and I just know that in like 3 months, I'll probably have 12 plants because they grow so fast. They're fantastic to propagate. They're way better than Crystallinum to grow and propagate, to be honest. They do stay small for ages. And as you can see, they're long, they're kind of cute. If you want to experiment with something that's veinier and longer and stuff like that, then this is a fantastic one to go for because obviously it's not a ton of money. They were at one point because I think they had to come from NSA Tropicals. Could be very wrong. I'm not sure on the actual origin of this plant. If you know, feel free to write a comment. All for it. But yeah, it is a good one. Maybe I've fallen out of love with it. I don't know. I think I've done this for years and I know what I like. I know what I like when it comes to most plants, and It follows the trend, not just in Anthurium, but it does in Monstera, it does in Alocasia, it does in Philodendron. I just like the more muted stuff, and I don't think this is for me anymore. I will always propagate it to sell it because there's always somebody that wants one, but it's not for me anymore. So if you want some, I have some. I'm just probably not going to pick it up. Right, the next plant is our first dark and glossy entry because I know y'all love a little bit of that. This is Anthurium Queen of Hearts. Now, obviously I have my preferences when it comes to glossy dark Anthurium, but this one is probably a very good one to go for if you want to delve into that side of things because I'm pretty sure it's really affordable. Like you can get this, I don't want to say nearly anywhere, but there are a lot of places you can get this from. It's obviously been tissue cultured, it's been grown out in nurseries, and it's all good fun really. So I think the emergents come out like it looks like a really chocolate berry sort of brown colour, and I can only assume they harden off a really dark colour. I can't see from my photograph, but it is a really nice one to go for. I would think. Never owned it, guys, if you are looking for that kind of thing and you're on a budget, because dark Anthurium, in my opinion, are the best ones. The glossy ones, honestly, just easier. Green, dark, doesn't matter. If you're struggling with velvet, I know I said this before, go glossy. So maybe try it. If you've been eyeing up some of the more expensive dark ones, which we will get to later, I know. Maybe go for it. Maybe try it out. So if you've been eyeing up maybe the more expensive ones, maybe you could try it out. Or you could perhaps wait a little bit longer and look for the next plant, which in my opinion is better. This is Anthurium Mudinum. Now, again, I've probably not done the previous plant much good service with the photographs, but at least with this one, I can guarantee you, look, give this plant what it needs. This thing's going to be nigh on black. Okay, really, really nice. I had a couple of these in at one point, actually, and they always did really well. They always sold well. There's always somebody that wants Mudinum, and it wasn't super quick. I think mine were quicker than that one, actually, my Mysterious Dark Boy, which I will mention very quickly. I'll put up a picture of him very, very quickly. I don't know what he is. I really don't. But he did grow a lot quicker than Mudinum. I know that much. But they're very similar, saying that. So if you do like mine, you can obviously get a cutting from me, or you can maybe look for Mudinum as well. Very, very similar plant. If you want your goth vibes, it's surely for you. It's surely for you. Right. I'm probably going to get some Jip, guys, for the next plant on the list because I put it in rare, and I think a few of you might be a little bit annoyed about it. But let me explain myself, okay? So we're coming up to the first Doc Block hybrid in this rare plant index, and I haven't included them all, okay? And I put it in rare, and it's not the one you think. The one you think it is coming after that, okay? I've put in, please forgive me, I've put in Anthurium Dark and Handsome by Red Velvet Cake, okay? I chose this because it's gorgeous, and I think a lot of people are going to want it, and if you didn't know it existed, now you do. Brilliant. So if you don't know who Doc Block is, it refers to Dr. Jeff Block. He makes some fantastic selectively bred hybrids over in the US, right? So he will take, like, for example, red crystallinum, he will take the reddest of the red and cross it with something else. And if there's something putting out really long and dark leaves, he'll cross that with something else and whatever have you. He's a very good producer of these Anthurium. And if you're into your Anthurium, you already know all this. But if you don't, he's the guy, okay? He's the guy for the sexy Anthuriums. So if you're interested to know a little bit more, I do have a video I did very recently on red crystallinum and the different types and their originators and stuff like that you can watch. I will leave that in the description as well. Please go check it out. It's awesome. But this also features on there, probably a different image, but it's a very nice plant. Now, I'm now going to repeat what I said at the start. I know y'all don't like me repeating myself, but I do think this is actually important. So, the Doc Block, Dark and Handsome, and Red Velvet Cake. Okay. First off, Dark and Handsome, I think, is a Magnificum version of it. It's dark and handsome, right? Red Velvet Cake, I do believe, is a crystallinum. It could be a Magnificum as well. And it comes out with super red, burgundy red emergent leaves, right? And that's the cross. What I will say to you is, these are sold by Doc Block. They're properly tagged. Each one is grown from seed. There's no tissue culture involved. It's all good stuff, okay? But you are buying a seedling, and if you buy one, and your friend buys one, and your other friend buys one, and your other friend buys one, they're probably not going to all look the same, okay? Because it's first generation, probably, I would imagine, of seedlings, of the hybrid, right? So even if you've got like, I don't know, Doc Block, Dark and Handsome 24 by Red Velvet Cake 13 or whatever it is, or even if the numbers match and you've all bought the same thing, they are probably going to be a bit different. A lot of them might look similar, but you might get variations. So that's really important. I should have said that on the other video. I apologize, guys. Just be careful, okay? It's very easy to get enamored by one picture of this sort of thing. And that goes for any of the things on this list, obviously. But just bear in mind, if you've got a specific one you want, make sure you see specific photos. That's all I can say, which is it's not always something you can do in every shop. It really depends on the shop. But a lot of the time, I'm sure the person running the shop would probably be happy to help. I'm sure they will. If they, do Doc Block hybrids all the time, then of course they will know this. So I just wanted to pop that in there. A moment to talk about this specific one because it's really nice. And if I had one of these, I would definitely be hoping it looks like that. It looks like it's got a lot of Dark and Handsome in it, but it's really, really pretty. And we love the dark boys. I love the dark boys. So I'm pleased we got that out of the way. Sorry, that was a longer one, but I just need to preface that, right? Because now we can move on to the Anthurium Michelle. Now, this one is objectively way more common than the other one I've just mentioned, okay? Anthurium Michelle, I think it's like a developed red crystallinum. Again, you can watch the red crystal video if you want, because I'm not going to mention every red crystallinum in this video. So if you've come for it, you won't get it, I'm afraid. You'll have to watch the red crystal video. But it's a select version of it anyway, and it's made its way definitely into shops. I'm sure I watched, so I have this cat hair like floating in front of me. I'm sure I saw something on Facebook where somebody had posted a picture of literally like, it was in like a big garden center and there was like a trolley and there was Doc Block hybrids on the top. So they are becoming very available. And if you want to dip your toe into that, that's probably the best place to start. The Michelle, I should think you're going to get a Michelle because it's the same plant, but if it's a Michelle by Michelle, then there may be differences. I'm not quite sure how that one is produced. So if you want to correct me in the comments, that's absolutely fine. But yeah, I would not go for this for reasons I will get to later. But basically, I said this in my other video, I would pick a different red crystallinum to this. But anyway, moving on. This next plant, I've been trying to get a hold of. And if you've got one or a cutting or a chunk or whatever that you'd like to sell to me, please let me know. Now, they're going quite cheap, okay? They are. I've seen cuttings of these go for like £25. I'm always missing them. And I really want one. So the next plant, hopefully you can see why. The next plant on the list for rare is the Anthurium Golliath, also known as the Darkest Panama. So this is a wish list plant for that reason. I really like it. And I think I could make some nice crosses with it, actually. Not super expensive crosses, but I could make some crosses with it. So obviously it's very dark and it's got wonderful veining. Not too much, it's pretty chill. But it's an amazing plant. And I just think, you know what? If you like a lot of the Anthurium you're going to see, right, today, especially in the next section, right, especially in very rare. Trust me on this. If you like a lot of that, but you look at the prices and you're like, no way in hell am I paying those prices, the Golliath, honestly, is possibly one you might want to look for because it is a bit cheaper, but the vibes are very similar. And I will probably flash it up later with some of the applicable ones, just so you can see what I'm talking about, okay? So if you like the vibe, you like the shape, you're like, ooh, dramatic, sexy, whatever, maybe actually look for this one. I'm looking for it. If it's anything, I'm looking for it. I will get it. People have it. I will get it. I just keep missing it when everyone fires cuttings off. If you've got a cutting on Facebook and you're in the UK and I happen to have missed it, please send me a message. I will happily buy a cutting. So, great option. We will see more of Mr. Golliath later because the next plant is a plant that is it from I actually don't know if this is Anthurium papillilaminum underneath. I don't know, but I'm gonna put it up anyway. Sorry guys, it's literally, who cares? This is Anthurium black velvet Indo type, also abbreviated a lot of the time when you see it in hybrids as BVIT, right? So when you see that, this is what it is. I want to put this in here because, again, it is used in a lot of hybrids, and some of them look very sexy. Now, I know we're going to cover some hybrids in this video. I know we already have, but I wanted to make sure that the plants that you see in this video are a lot of the ones that are used to make these hybrids, because I think that's the most useful thing I could do for you, to show you the originals. And then when you see things crossed, you're like, okay, I know what that is. Does that make sense? So this is Black Velvet Indotype. I don't really think I've got any notes on it, to be honest. Where's it gone? I've just lost it. Yeah, it's used in a lot of hybrids. It's obviously got a good base. I've written veins look amazing and the plant is super dark and dramatic. And I do think it's used for the veining. It's got to be a pap. It's got to be a version of a papillolaminum. Papillolaminum, which a lot of the plants in this list are, because it obviously has many different types and all of them very good. But if you look, you know what, why not? I'll pop Golliath up next to it just so you can see. It's a bit of an upgrade on a Golliath. Can you see what I mean? Some people might prefer the Golliath, obviously, personal taste, but you can see it's a little bit of an upgrade. So this is used a lot. If you want to start making a little bit of money out of Anthurium, little pro tip, start getting maybe some of these. This is a great one to try and find. Again, remember, if you want a specific plant, you need to look for what's called a clone. So when you're looking online and you're shopping, you want a BVIT, whatever, clone. You don't want BVIT by self. You don't want BVIT by BVIT. Okay, you want a clone of that plant. I mean, you can go for a seedling, don't get me wrong, but it's just not guaranteed you're going to get exactly the same thing that you're looking at. So I know I'm repeating that a lot, guys, but like it is important, and I do genuinely apologize for missing it on the other video. It's something I should have said. So this is, again, it's very similar. It's very similar, and I have one of these. I actually have two of these, but they are not growing brilliantly. I don't know if they're bad to grow or what, but I've rescued them from the shop anyway, so I'm rehabbing them. This is Anthurium Dark Phoenix, but it is the green version. It is the green version, which means basically it's a dark green. Those wonderful veins in the middle are a light colour green. And again, I'm going to pop Golliath up next to it. They are so similar. I can't see the Golliath very well. It could just be a difference in texture, to be honest. Both great plants. I don't even know if you need both. I think there is a nicer dark phoenix. Anthurium lovers, you know what I'm referring to. So maybe skip this one. I don't know. But there's the Golliath on the right for you. There's the dark phoenix on the left. Really nice plant though. Honestly, it is. I can't complain because it's kind of my vibe in Anthurium. I do get it. I get why some of these types are taking off a little bit. Right, I've got an interesting one for you next, guys. A really, really interesting one. So before I finalized this Rare Plant Index, I did hop over to Instagram. I thought, hey, I should do this more often. Let's get you guys to help me out. And I said, look, is there anything that you definitely think I should include in this Rare Plant Index that I may have missed? And sure enough, someone fired this at me. And I hadn't even seen this, and I had to Google it. So I want to talk about, before I put it up, the Anthurium Besseae, okay? Not Besseae AF, like everyone has seen, but the real Besseae. Because I always thought, right, Besseae AF, they're amazing plants. By the way, there's one next to me. They're amazing plants. Absolutely. Where is he? He's hardening off. He's massive, by the way. Can you tell how massive he is? He's a big boy. That's my hand. He's a big, big boy. They're amazing, amazing plants. And I thought, well, surely Besseae is just incredible. Look. Incredible. Now, I do know that Besseae AF are variable. We'll get to it next. But guys, listen, I'm going to put Besseae up, the real Besseae. Listen, I'm sorry, but it's no wonder that nobody knows about Besseae, right? What is this? I'm so sorry. I'm surprised. I honestly thought with all the Besseae AFs that we have, that look so good because they're very variable. This one's maybe a bit rounder and fatter. I've got another one upstairs that's maybe longer that I want to grow out as well. The veining can be a bit different. Like they're so good. And then you have this. Why would you go for this when you could go for this? Okay, this is obviously Besseae AF. It's actually a photograph of this plant right here, by the way, so if it looks strikingly similar, it's because it is. It's just an amazing, amazing plant. I don't know why you'd go for Besseae, and yes, I will hate on it. I actually can't believe it. So, it's rare, the Besseae anyway is rare, but nobody cares about that shit. Let's just say it how it is. They probably want Besseae AF. Now, Besseae AF obviously is, I wouldn't say it was super desirable. It's probably more desirable than e.g. Golliath, for example. or Darkest Panama, can't say that, whichever one you want to call it. Both will work, really. It is desirable. I don't think it's like top end, hence obviously the price as well. These are very variable. Again, another one, 100%. If you like a certain one, you will want a clone or a cutting of the mother and not, Besseae af by self or Besseae af by Besseae af. Basically, self, by the way, is the plant is both the mother and the father, so it's both the pollen receiver and the pollen giver, obviously. And Besseae af by Besseae af is two different Besseae afs, so I would have to cross mine with the one upstairs. Besseae by self is. It's sometimes looked at as being a bit inbred, and a lot of people are under the opinion that the offspring are not as strong because it is literally kind of inbred. I don't know how true that is. I don't really have experience in that kind of thing. Crossing something by self is great and all. It's just maybe not going to get you the exact traits. So something to be aware of. You're going to wish you never corrected me because I'm going to say it too much now. Yeah, great plant. Totally recommend them. I never used to be able to grow them at the shop, but now I can. I don't know. Maybe they just like this house better. Right. The exciting part. This is the exciting part for me because it's my favorite category. It's my favorite category. It really is. I don't know why, but it just is for this video. We're in very rare. You're going to see some real nice stuff, guys. You're going to see some real nice stuff. You're going to see a lot of bases for a lot of the very expensive, popular, bougie hybrids that everyone wants a piece of. You're going to see it all. But I want to start off with something that is less known. It's less known. And again, this is going to be a specific plant. So not all crosses of these two plants, because this is a hybrid, are going to look the same. Okay. But I really want to show you this. And this was actually recommended to me on Instagram as well, but I'd already found it. This is Anthurium Warocqueanum by Luxurians. And I just need you to know how nice this is. It's just really nice. And I thought, you know what, let's pop it in there because some people will definitely be interested in looking for something like this. And it's funny because the picture I found, it's everything you'd expect the cross to look like, if you know what I mean. It's got like the best of the both traits, and I think that's really cool. In my mind, that's exactly what I expect this plant to look like, because I don't think it's not always easy to like visualize what you want out of each one, but it's a really nice plant. That now I can't tell how dark it is. Obviously that picture's not great, but Luxurians is pretty dark. Warocqueanum's pretty dark. It's probably going to be pretty dark. I like that. I would love to see a fully grown out one that's really long. Can you imagine? Yeah, had to put that on there as a little gift for you guys, because I honestly think a lot of people will be in the comments going, no, that's lovely. I want to find one of those, because it's probably a little bit more on the obtainable side, or get this, because Warocqueanum and Luxurians are reasonably affordable. You can probably, if you want your own side project, you can probably try and make this yourself. You can, honestly, you can. There's loads of videos on how to do it, cross-pollination, all that sort of stuff. Literally, Google it. I'm telling you now, you could probably make this yourself and make a couple of really nice things. So, I don't know, maybe think about it. Maybe you shouldn't be in very rare. I don't know. I just think to get the really good characteristics that you want is very rare. Right, we have mentioned him, but I thought I would put him in because I thought he needed the context based on the fact that I put his hybrid in. This is Anthurium Dark and Handsome. Again, it's from Doc Block. Dr. Jeff Block, we love him. This, I'm sure it's a I'm sure it's Magnificum, but it's quite long. The veining is very nice, and it comes in like would you say like a midnight purple or something? It is nice, and you know what? I might have one. I wouldn't actually go out and get one, if you know what I mean. That's not me saying a wish list. I'm just saying I would consider owning that, because the only Magnificum I actually like is Magnificum Verde, which again, it's got like no veining at all. So this one is a lot more quiet than the Magnificum I showed you, obviously, at the beginning of the video. I do like this one. I really do like this one. Oh, yeah, it looks like the older leaves stay quite dark as well. Obviously, with a lot of these plants, the sexiness is in the emergent leaves. And I also want to throw out just a mini, not a warning, but just something to consider. A lot of these plants that you see online and you think, oh my God, that's incredible. They're emergent leaves. So when they harden off, sometimes they just look like a regular plant. And I really want you to do your research before you try and get some of the really sexy stuff, because that might be the case. You might be really enamored by a picture of when something is emerging, and then when it's hardened off, you're like, this is boring. I don't like it, and I've spent lots of money on it. So do a lot of picture searching, but just make sure you're not just looking at emergent leaves. Right. We're back in Papilalaminum. Can't really say that very well. Papilalaminum. So there are a few notable types of Papilalaminum. I have not covered them all. For example, I have not covered the blue pap. I just haven't. I don't know why. Sue me. But I want to cover these. The first of which is Papilalaminum Fort Sherman. This, again, is used in a lot of hybrids. I can't see by my phone. Can I turn the brightness up on this thing? I can't see anything. Right, yeah, I think that has green veins, very minimal. The plant is very long, and this is a characteristic mainly of what you're getting with Fort Sherman. It's very, very long, nice wide lobes, nice V shape, quite quiet, but very stealthy, very dark, very sexual. Do you know what I mean? Like sexual, but stealthy, you know? So you can see why it crosses really well with a few different things. I want you to know about it. You will come across it a lot. If you're looking for Anthurium, you're going to come across it. Similar to that, guys, we have, and I think this is prettier. Probably everyone does as well. It's probably more expensive as well, don't get me wrong. This is Anthurium Papilalaminum Ralph-Linum, which I don't know if Ralph Linum, did he discover Linamii? Philodendron Linamii, or am I making that up? I don't know. Don't treat that as trivia. Treat that as a brain fart. I don't know. This, though, I would actually have one of these. If I was going to pick a pap, I would pick this one. Well, actually, hang on, I've just scrolled down. Right. I would pick this one over the Fort Sherman anyway, because I really like that orange. That's quite nice. The lobes look wider as well, actually. The Ralph Linum, the lobes are definitely more of like a T shape, whereas the Fort Sherman are a bit more like a V shape. So there is some difference there. And obviously the veining, that veining is fantastic. You can see why it's been shoved into hybrids. I totally get it. I don't know what the length is like. Length looks about the same. So I think the difference you're looking at is the lobes and the veins, but it's quite nice. It's quite nice. But you know what is nice? Do you know what is really nice? Is one of the plants that this is often crossed with. It's often crossed with, guys, Anthurium Red Vein Dark Phoenix, also known as RVDP. If you see it on the internet, that is what RVDP is. It's Red Vein Dark Phoenix. Now, I will put up very briefly the green Dark Phoenix. Don't wrong, same vibes. It's just not got the pizzazz that this one has. Obviously, this has just got a bit more to it. I don't know if it's darker or not. I'm not really sure. But this one is quite sexy. So if you're really in the market for a Dark Phoenix and you didn't care about the price, you'd probably pick this one because there's more value in it. There's definitely more value in it. Even just selling, guys, you don't have to make hybrids. You could just sell a cutting of one of these. It's gonna cost a bit. You know what I mean? You make the money. I promise. I'm not lying to you. Ask any Anthurium enthusiast in the comments. I'm not making this up. This isn't something that tissue culture is just gonna creep upon us and ruin. I'm saying that now in 2025. I really can't see it happening. Sort of investment plans here, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I know this is like a rare plant index, but you get my point. But yeah, it's a nice one, that one. Absolutely would wish list the hell out of that. It's sexy. It's really sexy. I've got a note on here. I've got a note. And it says that people wanted me to mention Anthurium Night Dragon. Now, Night Dragon, from what I am aware, is literally a selected red vein Dark Phoenix. And I looked at it and I thought, I can't see too much difference. So, spoiler alert, it's not in this list because it's essentially a red vein Dark Phoenix, and I just don't think it was different enough. I don't even know if it's even different at all, and just someone, I don't know if it was in China or Thailand or whatever, or Indonesia, they've just called it Night Dragon. I don't know, okay? But I just want to let you know that Night Dragon, I believe, is basically that. So if I'm wrong, you know what to do, leave a comment. We'll clear that right up. Right, the next plant, this is worth a bit of money. It's got a couple of different names, so you will know it as either Anthurium Black Velvet Eastern Panama or Anthurium Antolakii. Both will get you there. Honestly, they will. I think most sellers now are putting a forward slash in and then they're using both anyway. It's lovely. There are loads of different varieties of this, guys. Loads and loads and loads. So don't get enamored by one picture. Shop around if this is something you really want. Be prepared to spend the money. Look, it's in very rare. It's used in hybrids. I'm telling you now, be prepared to spend the bloody money on it. But it's nice. It is nice. I think I've put in, this might be like the OG one or whatever. It's really, really nice though. It's really, really nice. I do like it. I can't really see it in my picture that I'm looking at because this phone screen is just, look at that, it's too dark, but it looks very, very nice, and it looked very nice when I was Googling it. Right, the next plant, most people know this one, and I've included a specific one to represent all of them, but there are different types, and I've done a video on them. This is Anthurium red crystallinum. Yes, of course, the video on red crystallinum is in the description if you want to see other forms. I'm including the NSE form. It's the form I have, and it's getting better. I don't think it's put a leaf out yet, but it's flowering at the minute, so I'm waiting to catch the pollen from it. I'm waiting. But it's a lovely plant. Care, in my opinion, is similar to a normal crystallinum. When it hardens off, though, compared to the green, it is a bit darker. You get some red veining that still stays there. All in all, it's not too different. And again, a little bit of a disclaimer. When you're looking at all these posh red crystals, like, for example, if you go and watch that video, they are emergent leaves. They don't always look insane when they harden off. So if you really want one of these plants, again, just Google the heck out of it, guys. Just don't be enamored by emergence all the time. We all love a good Anthurium emergent leaf, but it's just not the standard. So moving on from that, this is lovely, and I've tried to put it in the frame for you today. I don't know if you can see it. It's here. Can you see it? Oh, hang on. This is Anthurium King of Spades. It's beautiful, and you know what? It's quite minimal and it's quite understated. That is massive, by the way. That is just, what even is that? That is huge. I'm going to have to, when that hardens off, because it's not fully hardened off yet, by the way, I'm going to have to butt cut that, grow some out. It's massive. It's absolutely massive. Obviously, they're chugging my feed, by the way, which is, I'm just going to be honest, that's probably why they're massive. I will brag. Look at the size of them. I've not even had that long, I don't think. But anyway, beautiful plant. A lot of people want it. A lot of people want it in hybrids. It's got some lovely hybrids of it. It's got some nice mutations as well. It really does. And I think it's quite expensive, hence it's in this category. It is definitely obtainable though, and it's probably more obtainable than even, the BVIT and stuff like that. So when I do these lists, obviously it's not completely in order of how rare something is, like within a category. I do keep it quite loose because I prefer to arrange things via appearance and how to link them in talking about them rather than, how rare something is. Talking of mutations, we do have a mutation of King of Spades, which is quite nice. I wouldn't have it personally, but it's very nice and I can't knock it. This is the King of Spades butterfly, and I do think it was mentioned by some people on Instagram. I'd already got it, luckily. This is, it's a mutation. It's nice. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Anthurium Delta Force, just with the way that it kind of is. I don't personally feel the need. I'm quite happy with King of Spades. I'm quite happy with my Delta. I have other plants that are sort of reminiscent of it. It's not for me, but I wanted to put it on because you might prefer it to the normal King of Spades. You just might. Okay, let's get fancy, shall we? Let's get fancy. This is Anthurium Ganesha, and I do believe, what is it? It's King of Spades crossed with King of Clarinervium. See, this is what I mean, guys. I'm putting on hybrids, but I'm trying to put on more notable ones that you'd be like, ooh, shit, what is that? Do you know what I mean? Now, you're gonna tell me it looks a lot like King of Clarinervium, and it's the next plant on this list, so I will probably put them up next to each other because I think it'll be quite helpful. I don't know, looking at the picture I'm looking at, if the cartoony cloud-shaped edges, I don't know if that is the plant or that's just one mutant leaf. I'm not sure, purely from the picture I'm looking at. But it's quite nice. I wouldn't have it personally because I have a King of Clarinervium and they're just a little bit too similar. Like, this is one of these things where I don't think you need both. Unless you literally love them and then, knock your socks off. But if I just now move along to the King of Clarinervium, you'll see what I mean. It's like that. It's a little bit more regimented. All right, the veining is a little bit messier. If anyone wants to go at me for that, you're welcome to. But I just think, I don't know, it's more classic, it's more straightforward. I just like it, I really do. I will put up Ganesha on the right King of Clarinervium on the left. Obviously, needless to say, King of Clarinervium should be more obtainable. So if you like the vibe, guys, you don't have to try and get the Ganesha. You can maybe look for the King of Clarinervium. I'm not saying they're identical, obviously, but they're close enough. They're close enough that they deliver the same vibe. But if you think, hey, I'm kind of on board with this more minimal veining. Like I like the sort of vibe that these plants are trying to suggest, but I'm not quite picking up what they're putting down. I'm not quite receiving what they're putting out there. Can you just make it more corporate? Can you make it more business? Can you make it more office wear? Yes, I can, as long as it's a little bit longer. So this here is Anthurium Stingray, also known as Anthurium Ferrari. I don't know. This is quite nice. And can you see what I'm saying where I say it's the same vibes, but make it corporate? I don't know. Make it like day makeup. You know what I mean? We don't need nighttime full glam. This is day makeup. This is barely even soft glam. So if you want something more minimal and not as aggressive, this might be the one. Now, I think this has been around for a good while, and I dare say, don't completely quote me on it, but it's possible that it was actually around when I did the last Anthurium Rare Plant Index, and it's possible that it was on it, but I still don't see people have it. I don't see people care, and I can only assume at the time it's probably because Delta Force took over a little bit. I'll put Delta Force next to it. Why not? Why not? Obviously it's different, but I don't know. This plant's just never really, maybe I'm wrong. No one seems to care. No one seems to care about it, but it is nice. It is nice. It's just more chill and it is quieter, but it's the same vibe. Now, if you think, maybe that's a bit too quiet and a little bit too long, I have a potential different plant for you. And I do have one of these. He's rehabbing and he's got a new leaf coming out. I'm so excited. This is Anthurium Crystallinum Fairchild, or basically Anthurium Fairchild. So it's from NSA Tropicals. And these are not all the same. I think it's an F2 hybrid. Not really sure, but you will get very different ones. The ones I have look a lot like this image here that I'm showing you. So the sinus is really like wide open, like you're looking at like a T shape almost. And the veining is as you've seen. Now, no, it's not the same as the previous ones, obviously, but it's giving sort of a nod to it. Do you know what I mean? Like you can see why I've put it together with the others, right? It's nice. Now, for me, it's not the world's easiest to grow, you know, and it's growing for me better here, actually, than what it did in the shop. I think at one point in time, I was feeding it, and I think even though I was giving it my feed it has basically extra CalMag in it, I think I still had to supplement it with a little bit of extra CalMag on top of, which is unbelievably rare. It might be the first time I've ever had to do that with an Anthurium. Literally. It always seems a bit on the paler side. I will get back to you on that. Don't quote me, because I want to see how it does in this house. Maybe there was just something else that it didn't like in the environment, but I will definitely update you on that. But yep, Anthurium Crystallinum Fairchild. It's at NSA. Go get it if you like it. I can't guarantee you it's going to look the same as this. That's the catch. Again, unless it's a clone. Right, okay. I think we now need to be into the world of dark, transient things, and I cannot go any further in this rare plant index without mentioning this plant. This plant it's kind of like a modern day Holy Grail Anthurium. It's not the Holy Grail, because there isn't one, but it would be like a contender for like the top 5 Anthurium that that people would want. It's Anthurium Carla Blackii. Now listen, I'm showing you one specific one. There are like 20 odd different varieties of this, or different versions, I should say. Really, you just got to do your own looking. Get on Google, look at one of those big pictures where it's got like loads of little leaves and it's got like RA5, RA6, RA2, whatever, OG1, round, all those things. Really look. But I'm telling you now, at least in Europe and the UK, these things cost an absolute bomb. Like an absolute bomb. We're talking mid to high treble digits, right? At least, again, for us in the UK. Remember what I always say, different parts of the world, they cost different amounts. They cost a lot of money. Okay? I would absolutely adore one. I'd love to make some crosses with it. Just keep it as it is. And I'm not even that precious on which one. To be quite honest, just the one that looks the most Carla Blackii-ish. But I think people like it. Obviously, these veins are... They're They're thicker, but they're not messy. You know what I'm saying? They're quite precise is what I'm getting at. It does look a bit spidery. The leaves, when they emerge, a lot of them are like a chocolate color, like a reddy chocolate color that is, and they harden off really dark, hence the name Carla Blacki. I understand why everyone wants it. I'm not even mad. I get it all. I get it all. I literally get it all. Beautiful plant. Let me know if you have one. Let me know how expensive they are wherever you are in the world, because they are insane. But yeah, if you're waiting for it, guys, that's where it's in. It's in very rare due to its availability and the price and everything else. You can get them, yes. But is everyone going to pay that much money? No. A lot of us are just going to live vicariously. A lot of us try and get things with bits of Carla Blacki and like hybrids and stuff, which, fair enough. Literally, fair enough. I mean, I would love to try like a Carla Blacki by Veitchii or something. That'd be quite nice. Oh, actually, shit. Speaking of Veitchii, wishlist plant. Letting you know now, straight up wishlist plant. This is Veitchii Red Spider. Oh my goodness me. This is unbelievable. I love it. If you didn't know what it was and you love Veitchii, congratulations, you've added one to your wishlist. I'd be very surprised if you did not want to add this if you love Veitchii. Obviously, it gets the name from the fact that well, I guess you call it the petiole insertion. It's red. It's red. And I do think it stays red. It's just beautiful. It's so dark as well. Like that's just, and it's elongated. Like, oh, it's probably crossed with like a papillolaminem or something. I don't know. Oh, it's, I could get this. There is some available in the UK, but it's so expensive. It's so expensive. I hear that it's really hard to grow is what's setting me back. Because if I bought it, it would be for investment purposes. But I hear it's horrific to grow. So, I don't know. Maybe wait for that. There are a couple of other Veitchiis on here, right? Just a little heads up for Veitchii lovers. I'm going to rock your world. I'm just going to be totally honest. I'm going to rock your world. So just wait for those. Wait for those if you're thinking, not very easy. Okay, never mind. I've got something for you, I promise. Right, the next plant, Jesus Christ, such a big hybrid. Different versions of it. This is Anthurium dresleri. Listen, it costs the earth. I don't know if it does in America, but over here, guys, for my fellow Americans on the channel, it costs the earth. It costs the earth. You'll be lucky if you get a hybrid with it in, obviously, and even then, the hybrids people sell that are even obtainable prices, it's like a hybrid with a hybrid, crossed with a hybrid with a hybrid, which by the time you cross things again, things aren't worth much. People like purity. It's very muggle versus mudblood in the world of Anthurium. We really like purity, it turns out, I think. So there's a little pro tip. If you're going to cross things and sell things, don't cross things too much, you know? But yeah, great plant. Haven't seen one in person. I'm sure I'd absolutely love it. I think this one is probably super expensive and bougie because of the way it presents, and it is very nice. It's gorgeous texture. It's very pillowy, but it's very neat. You know, everything's in its place. It's got its shit together. It's got itself figured out. And I get it. We love it. We absolutely love it. I do think there's darker versions of this as well. So I'll probably never have, but it is lovely. Next plant on the list, I don't want to be mean, but I don't know why this is that rare. This is Anthurium portilli, and obviously you can see it's quite nice. It's got like super wide sinus, so it's more of that T-shaped stuff, and I am noticing the stuff that is T-shaped is expensive generally. That, like, I am awake, I've noticed that, so maybe that's why. There are other versions of this, in my opinion, that look better. I think there's like a Dorito or something like that that's out. It looks a bit better. But if it was me and I had to pick one, I would go for the Ralph Linam, the Pap, instead. I just think it's arguably a bit better. But again, this one's a major one in the world of Anthuriums. Loads of collectors want this. It's very sought after. Very sought after. Ooh, the next one's on a bit of a wish list as well, I won't lie. Because I just think some of the crosses with this, the crosses could be good. It's another puppy.
You taking me to Pappy?
This is Papillolaminem X1. That's one, not Juan. Okay, X1. Guys, I get it. It's basically like, for creating hybrids, I think anything that's like long, the veining is good, like big lobes or whatever, that is the stuff that makes the hybrids of dreams that are worth the money. So again, if you're hunting for stuff, just some friendly advice on where to look from someone that has looked at thousands upon thousands of pictures of Anthurium in the last month, right? That is the trend. This is a very good one to have. And that's nice. It's one of the more defined papillolaminums, actually, to be quite honest. I just love it. I totally get it, honestly. I never understood the hype with papillolaminum. I could barely even say it a year ago. Probably still can't now. But I'm starting to get it. When it comes to the long, dark things, I never thought I'd say this, but I'm on the team. I'm on the team of the long. I really am. Okay, next up. I think this one comes from Cartel Dawn, which a few of the other ones have as well. But this one, I think people told me to include this, and I did not have this on the list. Full transparency, I did not. This is Anthurium basilisk, and I don't think we know the parents. I think it's very likely, though, like most things, it's between like Crystallinum and Magnificum. Obviously, most of the experimentation seems to be done with that. I think that and like papillolaminum and then something else. That's like your two different arenas, I guess, of hybridization usually. But it is very, very nice. And the thing that obviously stands about this to me is the ruffled edges. We love, and the wide sinus is very nice, and obviously the veining is very nice as well. Very, very nice plant. This might shock you, but I probably wouldn't pick it. Again, like, I like what I like. I don't mind a bit of veinage. It is very neat. It's not messy or anything. The more I look at this list, the more I realize where my preferences lie, and it's definitely in the darker, muted, sexier things. But I think a lot of people are going to look at this and be like, hell yeah, wish list. Hell yeah, wish list. If you want to know where to get it from, pretty sure it's Cartel Dawn. Go and have a look at the website, go on their Instagram, have a good look at it. It's a very nice plant. Now the next plant, I've heard bits about this, and it's got a value, but I don't want to sound mean. I'm not quite sure why. I'm just not. Let me see if I can pronounce it. This is Anthurium cunayalensi, and it's worth an awful lot of money. Now, what I will say is I've not seen another Anthurium on this list or any other list that looks like this one does. So the shape of it's very, very round. The picture I'm showing you doesn't look that round, but it is very, very round. The texture is very pillowy, but it's very soft. It's very subtle. And I'm pretty sure the veining on it is quite a pinky tone. The Anthurium itself is quite light in color. So it's nice, and I think it might make it some nice crosses, but it's not really for me. And I wouldn't actually want to buy this as a standalone plant to even create the hybrids with. I know the hybrids that I'm going to want to work on because it is something that I want to do this year. I know where my hybrids are going to lie. Spoiler alert, it's clearly where my tastes fall. So I want like the long, the dark, the interesting things. That's probably what I'm going to be doing. So I probably wouldn't include this one. But again, it's a rare plant index. We include it, and you will see it around. Right, the next plant, well, this is just, it's not Holy Grail, but again, it would be in one of the top ones, actually, 100%. This would be in one of the top 5 for sure. This is Ace of Spades dark form. Now listen, you can get Ace of Spades green form. It actually looks an awful lot like an Anthurium I have, but we'll not go into it. It's not really relevant. And you can get this form. This form, the super, super black version, these genes are very recessive, okay? I got a few tips from a few of you after my last video where it featured it. So the dark is very, very recessive. I imagine you could tissue culture it and it should clone. But if you want basically an Ace of Spades that is dark, I really suggest you go down the clone route and you buy a cutting. Okay, I wouldn't mess about with seeds personally. I would really be looking for those traits. If you're already there and you're already going to spend that money, look for the traits. This is really nice. I may be showing you a picture. Is it the Tazula one? I don't know. I actually don't know. But I've recently bought a seedling, which is the Tazula Ace of Spades, a dark form mixed with Golliath. I've got some Golliath now. I hope I don't kill it. I don't have it as of filming this, but by the time you watch this, it may have arrived, I think. It'll be very, underwhelming. It'll just be a little green blob. But I really hope that I don't kill that. So, yay for me. Hopefully that looks nice, though. I can imagine those would cross nice. Do you know what I mean? But let's just see what happens with that. But yeah, really nice plant. Loads of people want. I had my hands on one once. It wasn't that dark, though. Don't get me wrong. It was dark, but it wasn't that dark. Once in my entire life. Very sad. Oh my goodness, I've just looked at the next Anthurium. And honestly, I hope you can see this on the video now, because when I dropped this into basically Google Drive, when I was like preparing my little table of all this stuff, I couldn't really see what was going on because it's that black. But for Veitchii lovers, I really hear you, and you think listen, just give me all the forgetting about. Where's the dark stuff? You're on about dark form. It's not that dark. Well, listen. Allow me to introduce you to the next thing on my wish list. This is Veitchii Black Hole. And oh my God, I would really like one. I've not seen any in the EU. I don't know how to get one. This is damn incredible. I don't know what it's crossed with. I haven't written it down. No doubt it is public knowledge what it's crossed with. I don't know. Listen, I don't know what I've got to do to get this. I really, what do I have to do? What do I have to do? Where do I have to travel? Who do I have to rob? What do I have to do? This is incredible. I don't even know what to say about it other than it's so incredible. It's not my favorite dark Veitchii. I know. I have another one. Listen, we're now in extremely rare. Shit's getting real. Now this is not for everybody, right? People are going to put this in the freaky category, maybe even the freaky deaky category. But for me, I don't mind a bit of freaky deaky, okay? I don't mind. If you like alocasia, and say, for example, you like things like alocasia venom, you might just like this. This is incredible. I'll not waste any more of your time. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to build it up, but it's so good. This is Anthurium Facehugger. And I'm sorry, but if is that not the coolest thing you've ever seen in your entire life? Come on. Some of the crosses you could make with that. Now, I think it's Carla Blackie by Veitchii. And I think, hopefully, stuff like this has just raised awareness of crossing Carla Blackie with Veitchii. And I hope more people buy crosses and more people buy seedlings, because you just never know. Because obviously this is a scenario, right? Rewind. This is a scenario where sometimes it's good to buy seedlings because you get wild stuff like this happen. Obviously, the creator of this has crossed Carla Blackie by Veitchii, and there's a bunch of seeds that look pretty normal, and then there's this one little freak in the corner. Now we have the one little freak in the corner. Now he's famous. Now he's a famous boy, right? And now I want him. Will I ever get him? No, of course not. But this is why sometimes seeds are good. And I feel bad actually, because I've not shit on them, but I've sort of talked them down a lot in this video. And there are good things to be had. It's when you get mutations and stuff like that. Like things like the Ganesha that we talked about a while ago. That's obviously a mutation. Well, it's not a mutation, but you know what I mean? It's a cross that's gone different. Okay, so seeds are good. I'm just saying, if you want the exact thing, you need to buy a clone. Like if you want Facehugger, you are buying a clone of Facehugger. You could do Facehugger by itself if the creator released that, but it's not a guarantee. It's going to look like this. But listen, write in the comments if you're for or against this, because this is going to divide some people, right? It is. Not everyone wants this, but I really do. That is just incredible. And if you're the creator of this plant, please send me some extra photographs, because this was the best one I could really get, and I think I had to screen grab the video a little bit, so it's not, I'm sorry guys, it's not the best. Please send me some pictures. I just want to see some pictures. Please. I love it. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Right. Oh, the next one. Oh boy. So this is, I think it's some kind of papillolaminum again. I know it's making the rounds. This, guys, this is like, it's extra long. This would be in a long boy video, right? This is long. This should be long, right? This here is Anthurium juggernaut, and I think it is some kind of pappy. We should be calling this pappy.
Whatever you say, Pops.
Pappy, for sure, because that is a pappy. You know what I mean? Now, it doesn't look the darkest, don't get me wrong. This isn't a dark thing. This is a length thing. And again, this could be a result from, I've not got it written down, it could be like a Ralph Lineham crossed with that. It could be a Fort Sherman cross. It could be anything, or it could just be a really random thing where it's just got longer and it's got weirder. I don't know, but this is the same thing as the Facehugger. We've got this guy now, and he's great, and I love him. I think he's great. I would have him because he's long. Who'd have thought? How many lesbians do you know that like long boys this much? Answers in the comments. I don't know. Okay, the next plant, and I might get, I'm not going to get hate, but I think people might question me a bit here because I don't actually understand why this one's really rare. I'm so sorry. And you know what? It's just my opinion. Please don't get annoyed. It's just my opinion. The next plant I want to talk about is Anthurium rotolanthium. Now, did William Rotolanti name this one? Is that what it is? Did he create it? I don't know. Just because I'm noticing a similarity in the name. Sorry, I could be very wrong. Again, don't treat that as a nugget of wisdom. Treat that as a brain fart. I don't get it. And I'm honestly, all I'm talking about is looking at the plant on face value. The one thing I will say is the The texture and the way it looks, I can't think anything offhand that looks kind of similar. So I will hand it to you. It is unique. The price tag it's up there, right? But it's just not that. I'm not saying therefore it's got a price, therefore it should be desirable. I just don't get it. It's obviously very, very unique. I would love to know more about this. And yes, I should have maybe looked it up. But honestly, guys, there's so many plants in this video. I don't even know how long. Wow. The raw footage right now is just insane. Like, we could have sat and watched a movie together. Do you know what I mean? I don't have time to do everything for every plant. And even then, I probably get stuff wrong anyway. But yeah, let me know what the tea is on this. For anybody reading the comments, because I don't really get why it is this expensive. Not the only plant on this list that I feel that way about, though, because we also have, I nearly forgot to put this in. Alas, no idea why. Well, the next plant on this list, guys, I've mentioned this before. This will not be the first time you hear me mentioning this if you watch my content. This is Anthurium circus peanuts. Peanuts. I realize you guys know I'm saying peanuts. It's more for the YouTube, what do you call it? Like the auto captions thing, right? I daren't turn them on. Hopefully it says peanuts. Peanuts. If I say it quick, peanuts. I don't know. Anyway, so this one is very unassuming. It's very chill. From what I know about this, it's all about the smell of the inflorescence on it. And it smells like really terrible. See, I don't know why you'd want this. Apparently it smells like really terrible candy that you get at the circus that tastes absolutely grim. Guys, honestly, the guy that named it, I can't remember who it was now. Sorry, it's not in my notes. I know I've mentioned it previously. That is the tea. That is why it's named that way. Because the flowers smell gross. And it's so expensive and everybody wants it. Why? Because honestly, when you look at it, listen, it's my job to just say things as I see them, and I just think it looks really boring. I'm just going to be honest. All the Anthurium I've shown you today, right? And we're not even done, right? All the Anthurium I've shown you today. You're really going to drop money on that one? Surely not. But obviously, maybe it's a historical thing, maybe it's a prominence thing. I don't know. But there it is. It's worth a shit ton of money, okay? But we've mentioned it, you know? It won't be on my wish list anytime soon. But I appreciate how funny it is. It's just the fact that everyone wants it, but they say it smells horrific. So, okay, so we're about to get sexy again. We're about to get into the style of plant that I probably arguably prefer. And I can't go any further, guys, without mentioning it. If I didn't mention this, I probably would have had the same comment about 200 times. So we have to talk about the Black Widow. We have to. This, in my opinion, is one of the most unique Anthurium that there is, right? You've got things like Delta Force, super unique. You've got Carla Blackie, I would say, was very unique. Black Widow was very unique. Okay, this is wonderful. I'm showing you like the OG Black Widow. You can buy bits of Black Widow. It's not impossible. It's just very bloody difficult. You can get Doc Block hybrids are coming out, by the way, with Black Widow in them, with varying degrees of Black Widow in them. Hopefully you get a really good one. I'm going to sound a bit mean, but I'm just going to tell you how it is. If you're going to get a Doc Block Black Widow by something, right? You might not get the most Black Widowy thing. One, it's been crossed with something. Two, what is probably going to happen, I'm just going to be totally honest, the shops are going to take the most Black Widowy ones that they've imported if they notice something. They're going to take it and they're going to keep it, obviously, because trust me, that is why people want the hybrid, okay? So if something is presenting really Black Widowy, because by the way, I think this trait that you're seeing is super recessive. It's not coming along often. So unless you're cloning it, you're not going to see it too often. You get me? It will pop up, don't get me wrong, but it's not going to be quite as, kapow. I do think shops are going to be pulling that ahead of you getting it. You might get lucky if you buy something super young. There's maybe that's more where the gamble is in your favor, because if something is presenting really well earlier on, personally, I don't think a seller's going to allow that to go. I'm not shitting on sellers, by the way. I wouldn't. If I saw something that was super Black Widowy coming out and I bought a load of Doc Blocks and I was going to release them, I'd be keeping that one for me. Okay, I'm just going to be honest. But it's a beautiful plant. I can only assume it's from Magnificum. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's Crystallinum. I think it's Mag. I'm not actually sure. I've not even written it down. How bad is that? Someone had a go at me about a week ago or 2 weeks ago for spreading misinformation in my videos, including Rare Plant Index. So there's some misinformation for you. I don't even know what it is, but it's cool. It's very expensive. It is unbelievably sought after. So yeah. Good luck. May the odds ever be in your favour. Next to that is something I knew less of, and I have an anthurium that's doing something a bit similar to this, but it's not, if you know what I mean. When I put this anthurium, I'm showing you very quickly, on Instagram, and I said, guys, what the hell is in this? A couple of people actually sent me a message saying, oh, it looks a bit like this plant. Obviously, it's not the plant, but you can see what they're talking about with some of the veining. So this here, guys, is Anthurium stripey, and I think it's from Tim Anderson, which a lot of the really cool shit is, by the way. He's one of the main players in terms of like really select hybrids, a bit like Doc Block kind of thing. It's nice, and I think this is Magnificum 100%. It's very round in shape, and it's very dark. I think it's darker than the Black Widow, actually. It's really sexy. Formal orderly Clio. Most people want this. I'd have it. Obviously, look at it. It's great. Love it. Love it. It's black, it's dark, it's sexy, but it's just minimal enough to not be like, whoa. You know what I mean? Stealth. I love a bit of stealth in my plants. I love it. I love it. Right, this plant was not on my list. It was not on my list. So to the subscriber that sent it to me on Instagram, thank you very much. It was not on my radar, but thank you very much for blessing us all with it. This plant here is wonderful. It is a select version of Anthurium hoffmanii, and it is Anthurium hoffmanii Blood Moon, also known as, I think this is important, I don't know, Hoffmanii Red Sinus. Now, I think they are the same thing, okay? I don't think they're different. I think either are good, but again, the advice about clones goes. If you want the exact plant you're looking at, you need probably a cutting, and make sure it is a cutting. But this, it's quite nice, isn't it? So it's very round, which is probably the only thing that puts me off. I would prefer something longer and more tapered, I think. But this is gorgeous. It's super pretty and pillowy. It's dark as hell. And obviously that petiole insertion there is red, and it stays red, but it is like quite a deep burgundy red. It's got most things that you want. I think for this, you're either going to want it or not, and it's genuinely going to come down to shape, I think. Either that or you don't like stealth, which some people don't. But that is absolutely stunning. That I can only assume that costs an absolute bag of cash, let's be honest. But you can really see the trend in what is trending, what's expensive, what people are trying to hybridize with, the traits. So if you're on the hunt for stuff and you think, what can I cross? What do I want? I actually think, although this is a rare plant index, I actually think it serves as a really good guide to just let you in a little bit into the world of what Anthurium now is. And I think I've been able to actually cover a bit more of a base than what I have in a typical rare plant index. So I'm actually quite happy about that. I think I've done well there. Dare I say it, I'm critiquing myself in a positive way. I think I've done well there. And that concludes this rare plant index on Anthurium. Please let me know the next rare plant index you'd like me to do. I have done a recent updated one on alocasia, which I will link below. And similar to that, YouTube also thinks you might like these. So if that's not for you, maybe one of these is. I've been your host with the most. I will love you and leave you. I really need a drink. I've done too much talking. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you for sitting through this. I know it was long. And I'll see you next time. Bye.